Hello and welcome, Mr. Hopkins. It's a pleasure to meet you. Today we'll be interviewing for the supply chain leader job at Frito-Lay. We'll be asking questions trying to establish if you're a fit for our company as well as us being a fit for you. The interview should last between 15 and 20 minutes, and the information gathered will be used in our determination of who is the best candidate for the job. So let us begin. Firstly, why are you interested in applying for this job and role?
I'm interested in applying for this job because I did work for Frito Lay at one time for about 11 years, and did leave and got some education under my belt, got some management experience under my belt, and I'm ready to come back and, in essence, ready to come home.
Okay. What is one thing you could work on to what is one thing you could work on to improve yourself as a leader?
I'd say that definitely falls under communication with your team because you learn just as much from them as they do from you, and as long as you're everybody's on the same page and on an understanding level, then that's only going to make you better as a leader and make you better as a team.
Okay. What are your short and long-term goals within the company?
Short-term goals is to come in and make an impact on the team, be a good leader, hear their concerns, and being able to hopefully eliminate any obstacles that may be in their way. Long-term goals with the company is I want to stay here, build a good reputation, be a good asset to the company, and hopefully move up one day.
Okay. What do you say is your best strength as a leader?
Strength is, like I said, it falls back to communication because without communication, you don't have a team, you don't have anything going for you as far as the day and the shift goes. Everybody's kind of like all over the place. So communication is always a strength of mine. If you got to be in the know, and you got to also let your team be in the know. If everybody knows what the mission is and what the goal is that they got to achieve, the point is to just point and get them to go there, and you go with them, show them the way.
So just for clarification, your strength is communication, but you also want to work on that at all times, is what I'm understanding.
It's a constant thing with communication. Of making sure because not everybody understands the same way. So
Okay.
you may have one associate who you can literally tell go do A, B, and C. And you may have another associate that you got to give a little bit more detailed answer to. As long as everybody knows the why, then you're going to end up getting to the crossroads, or you're going to end up getting to your destination. One of the two.
Okay. Cool. What experience do you have with data or data tracking?
Data tracking. Yeah, I was a AP team lead for Walmart, so we was always constantly tracking inventory flow in to the facility as well as out of the facility. Dealt with a lot of vendors. Dealt with Frito Lay, dealt with Budweiser, dealt with um, Keebler. So these are a lot of vendors coming into our facilities, and they're billing us for items that in essence we're going to sell for them. So making sure that what we're getting billed for is actually what we're receiving and what is going out the door. We did have a screw up with the system one time where Budweiser put an extra zero on one of their invoices, and an extra zero can actually be pretty costly when you're going from $2,000 to $20,000. That's a lot of shrink. If we'd accepted the invoice as is, we would have had to eat it.
Mm,
So data tracking is something that I've got a lot of experience with. You guys know your numbers, and numbers got to match up on paper as well as what you see in front of you.
Completely correct. Name a time you had two conflicting items scheduled at the same time, and how did you handle the issue?
Oh, well, like I said, falling back dealing with Frito Lay, if you've got Doritos going out and you also have Cool Ranch going out and is also scheduled at the same time, you without getting into the whole logistics of the cleaning, the wet washing, and all that goes into preparing that, you
Mhm.
go with which one you've got the hardest deadline on. If you've got a low inventory on your nacho Doritos, that's the one you're going to roll with. Cool Ranch, you just have to catch up on the back end, or vice versa. If Cool Ranch is low and you've got a decent stock of your Doritos nachos, then you're going to go with the Cool Ranch. It's being able to decipher which one you need the most and which one's going to get you the most profit.
Okay. Name a time you had an issue arise where you had to find a solution, and what was the outcome?
Had a issue at work not too long ago where we had no eggs, but the weatherman said the S word, the snow word.
Oh no.
They
What was
came and
it?
cleaned us out. So I had to call up Chevyville, which is where we get all of our dairy stuff from the distribution center. and had to get an emergency order put in to get us some eggs. The eggs were there within an 8-hour period. It took them on, like I said, about an 8-hour turnaround, about an hour drive to get to us. But being able to overcome that, because we did not plan for the snow event that just popped up out of nowhere. Otherwise, I would have already had eggs ordered a couple days in advance. But it's being able to pivot, seeing what the obstacle is, be able to pivot and react quickly and see if you can't fix it before it becomes a major issue. Because snowing in, people need their eggs, man.
I understand. I'm assuming you had a lot of that during COVID as well.
Oh yeah, man. COVID was crazy. It's definitely dealing with the toilet paper, supply chain issues, dealing with that, and you know, I don't know how cover your mouth, wash your hands went from there's no more toilet paper, but that's where we were at that point. Never seen the shelf so empty, and never seen it where you go into the app and see when your replenishment is, and it's 2 days out. It's like, man, my shelves are bare now. So yeah, definitely dealt with that a time or two, but it's just you got to learn to grind with it and communicate with your customers. Let them know, hey, I don't have it today, but it'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
Mhm.
How do you ensure communication flows throughout your team as a manager?
Not only have huddles with your teams where you get everybody together, and maybe that's a beginning of the shift, and maybe even the closing shift into shift with them. Hey, this is the big points we got to hit today. This is the goals. But you also have one-on-ones with your team. That way, some people don't feel comfortable talking in a group setting, but they would feel more comfortable talking in a one-on-one setting to give you some of their ideas or grievances and seeing what you can do to either implement some ideas or overcome obstacles. But it's always good to have daily meetings with your teams, and you'll have that huddle in them right before the shift starts. Hey, this is XYZ we got to do today, and at the end of the day, especially if they've done a good job. Nobody wants to come to a meeting every day where they're getting hammered, but if they killed it that day, oh, we definitely have an end of shift meeting and say, hey guys, pat yourselves on the back, feel good about today because y'all were shooting for 18 trailers and we got 23 out the door. So that's definitely something that I'd want to make sure the team felt.
All right. Name a time you mediated a conflict between two parties, and what was the outcome?
Had an older associate that dealt with and this is in the Walmart setting in dairy and he and eggs. So he had a certain way he liked to do things. He'd been with the company for 20 years. He was on his way to retirement. We had a younger guy come in who still learning the ropes, trying to figure out where he fit into all this. He was on the day shift. The older gentleman was on the night shift, the closing shift, as we say. And he didn't feel like the younger guy was setting him up for success when he would come in at one.
Okay.
So, I took the younger guy aside and asked him, what he thought his job responsibilities was, and walked him through his day and helped him be able to overcome some of those struggles he was having with time management, be able to get to a point to where 1 o'clock rolled around, when associate number two come in at one, he didn't feel like he was having to play catch up from everything all morning. He felt like it was a smoother handoff, which in turn helped be a smooth handoff for the morning because he would leave everything set up for the morning guy coming in to be straight. So he wasn't coming in feeling like he was trying to catch up from the overnight.
Hmm.
It was just getting them on the same page. So each of them knew kind of what to expect. The older gentleman
Hmm.
and the younger guy, after I'd mediated a little bit between them, they came to an agreement of how it should look when he's leaving at night for him to come in the morning, and how it should look when he's worked all morning up till lunchtime and he's coming in to take over in the afternoon. So they worked pretty well together there after they get that crossword. And it was basically a communications breakdown. The older gentleman, like I said, set in his ways, didn't
Hmm.
really address the younger one right. And like I said, I had to step in as the manager and smooth over both of them and get them both on the same page. They work together great now.
Okay. Awesome. And our final question for this interview: what would your former team say about your leadership style?
I would say that even though I'm not as strict as maybe some of the old school managers and bosses are, they would say that I'm fair. They tell you that I'm a good communicator and that I treat everyone equally. And if there is a problem, I do address it. and that I will do my best to either eliminate the problem, or we will come up with some solution to be able to deal with the issue, but still be able to take care of the customer and finish the day the way we're supposed to finish the day, and that's strong.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Hopkins. You seem to have strong leadership abilities with a focus on communication, time management, conflict resolution, and you have long-term goals to advance in our company. Seem highly motivated. Is that a correct assessment for what we've gotten here today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would say so.
Okay. Thanks for that. That wraps up our interview. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to meet with us. We have a few more interviews this week to finish up, and then hoping to get back to you within the next week with the decision. Thanks again for your time.
Well, I understand. Thank you. You have a good day.